If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
Brendan Ayanbadejo, you do nothing but bring out stars to High Tops and Timonium, man. It's crazy.
I mean, I'm just lucky I got some great teammates, and they all support me, and we all support each other, and that's what teams do and makes us tighter. You know, we're more like a tribe, more like a family than a team. And, you know, Joe had told me weeks ago he was having a kid, and I'm glad that everybody else knows now, and I'm real excited for him. But, you know, that's what we do. We support each other, and we bring out the best in each other. So it's awesome being on a team like that where you can count on your guys and know that they have your back.
And a bit easier when the team is 10-3, I'm assuming, that there's a little bit less tension around the building?
Yeah, because you don't want to be around when when you're going 3-10. I had a season that was like that. Luckily, I've only had one losing season, I think, maybe two in my career, but it makes things so much harder just to be motivated and to go around and do things, because what are you playing for? You're basically just playing for pride, and knowing that, you know, you have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl, bring a championship to your city, it brings a lot more energy. Everybody's happy, the city's happy, the players are happy, and it makes work just an environment that people can flourish.
I want to let you brag on. We had Jamil out a few weeks ago. We haven't had the Nell out yet, but I want to let you brag on those guys, because it looks like perhaps Ray could be back on the field in San Diego and sort of nailing that down. And Jamil was playing his position, but was doing the thing with the headset, had to pick up some leadership things, and Donnell absolutely had a lot put on him in playing that position that Ray had been playing. Those guys, without Ray being on the field for the last 4 weeks, how impressed have you been by that couple of guys?
I mean, they just stepped it up. They solidified themselves as being starting linebackers in the NFL. You know, you knew Jamil could do it. He wasn't the Mike. He was playing the Will spot, and for him to step up and play Mike and take that leadership role, in essence, he's the Joe Flacco of the defense.
Right.
Whoever's calling the defense, and that's been Jamil for the last 4 weeks. And for Ellerby to come up and step up and play through injury and play as well as he's done, and solidify himself as a starting linebacker. Now they built so much equity in their performance. Now it's like, okay, we got to take these guys seriously. And I know Jamil's coming up into a new year in his contract. He's got a new deal on the table. After the season, his contract will be up. So he's setting himself up nicely for a nice payday. And Ellerby will be right behind him. So those guys are doing a phenomenal job, and they'll be rewarded for their contributions and their accomplishments this year.
All of that said, I'm sure there's still a little bit of excitement about the thought of having number 52 back on the field. I mean, think that would still mean a lot.
And then to have the greatest of all time back on the field and put one of those guys on the bench, you know, now you got to find a way to get him in the ball game, you know. So they'll still have their roles, though. They're still going to play a lot. Jamil is going to be there on the run plays as always. I play on the passing plays, and then Ellerby plays kind of when you don't know if it's a run or a passing situation. So we'll divide up the duties, and then you put the greatest of all time back in there and just, you know, win number 11. That's what you do.
Are you sensing that he is just dying at this point? Like Ray can't take it anymore, not being on a football field?
I think it was harder when he missed his first and second game. It was harder for him because he wanted to be out there. But now that he's like, okay, my guys are doing it.
Right.
They're picking up the slack. They're doing, you know, he sees like, oh, I could have made a play here. I could have made a play there. And he knows, you know, obviously he watches so much film and he's played against teams for so many years. There's things that he just knows and does that nobody else can do. So, you know, there's situations where he's like, oh, I could have made that play. I could have did this. I could have did that. But now, you know, he knows that the other guys are doing a great job fulfilling the role. And I think he's a little bit more relaxed. He's not quite as intense in coaching us as much as he was when he was out those first couple weeks. He was like damn near another coach, damn near like having two hardballs out there, you know. But he's relaxed a little bit, and I know he's just foaming at the mouth because he wants to get out there. But also he has this trust and this faith, like, okay, these guys are going to get it done. Not that he did it before, but it's just he believes even more than he did before, you know, because it's proven now, whereas before it was unproven. So hopefully we'll get him back this week, and we'll just continue to roll, and we'll be even better, even stronger, which is what you want at this time of year.
Now you guys have talked a lot about how Ray's still involved. He's on the sideline. He's active. He's on the field in pregame warm-ups. I saw him bouncing around with you guys. But as a defense, obviously when you hear Ray Lewis isn't going to play, you're going to hear the doubters from the media, from the fans. You know, what's the defense going to be able to do without Ray? The rest of you guys, have you taken a sense of pride that knowing that you're never going to replace Ray Lewis, but you guys over the last 4 weeks have just, you haven't missed a beat. I mean, you've continued to play at a very high level. Is there an extra sense of pride among you guys on the field that, hey, we can still do this even without Ray, and just imagine how much better we're going to be when we get him back.
Yeah, absolutely, because we're a team. We know how much depth we have on the defensive side of the ball, and over the last 10 years, Baltimore's had the best defense in the NFL, and that's something we take pride in. That's a part of our culture. That's what we do, is we play defense. We're a bunch of bullies out there. So you take the greatest player of all time, you take him out of the game, and we're still out there beating people up and being bullies. That says a lot about us and how much depth we have in this organization. So as far as the media goes, though, we don't really pay attention to what's going on outside around us. We can't control that. All that we can control is our bubble and what's going on with us and the 53 guys that are on the roster and the 8 guys that are on the practice squad and the coaches. In that inner circle, in that bubble, we believe in ourselves and each other, and what they say on the outside, it doesn't really matter. And then the fans, they rally around us and they have our support. We got the best fans in the NFL, so there's nothing to worry about with our group.
It's Monday Night Live. Brendan Ayanbadejo with us here at High Tops Backstage Grill at Timonium. All right, I want everybody to participate in something for me, so if we can try to quiet a little bit, because I want Brendan to clear his mind and think about something, all right? B, I want you to think back a week ago, Cleveland. Just breathe in that whole experience of being in Cleveland on a Sunday. Really think about that, and give me just some sort of reaction to now thinking about San Diego on the opposite side.
You know, I got into a big altercation on Twitter last week because everybody was dogging Cleveland, you know? And I was like...
What's not the dog?
Well, but just listen, though. But before, like, wherever we go, our fans and just fans in the NFL in general, they're so riled up that they want to dog every city that we go to. Like, oh, Cleveland's terrible, or Indy's terrible, or Cincinnati's terrible. But they're not talking about the football team. They're talking about the city, kind of like you are right now.
Right, and I am.
But I said, before you're an NFL fan, before you're from Baltimore, you're an American first. So why are you trashing these other cities? These are American cities with hardworking people.
I agree.
So people get so riled up. So I don't get caught up. Like, I think we have an amazing country. We play an amazing game. You just go to other countries and they can't play games and do the things that we do, you know?
I understand.
So I kind of get, like, see the big picture, right? Yeah, certain cities are better than other cities, but we really shouldn't be talking, like, they were like dog cursing Cleveland,
okay,
you know?
I'm not trying to do that.
So I can't, you know, like, yeah, I love San Diego. San Diego's home to me.
I know.
You know, Cleveland's just an away game, somewhere to take care of business. We're going to San Diego on a Friday. I'm going to get some Mexican food when I get to San Diego. You already know that I'm an honorary Mexican, you know? So I put my glasses on, it's Cheech and Chong style up in here,
Street
you know?
tacos, is that the way to go?
I mean, you got to go to Tijuana to get those. I'm not going to go that far south, but I mean, they got the little taquerias everywhere. But yeah, I'm definitely a lot more excited to be in San Diego than Cleveland, though.
Do you mess with fish tacos? Do you go down that road?
I don't eat seafood, and everybody disses me because in Baltimore we got the best crabs.
Wow.
And my boys, you know, at Jimmy's Famous Seafood, I go there all the time. Where I come here and they're like, "Oh, you got to get something fish." I'm like, "Nah, all I eat is chicken and steak. That's it."
Dude, fish tacos are like, they are San Diego. This is your home we're talking about. How can you not be messing with fish tacos?
That's just the way it is.
Oh boy,
no
I don't
seafood.
know what happened to you.
I'm like deathly ill of seafood.
What else?
Definitely, that's my one fear. Like, if you know they have Fear Factor and you got to eat all these crazy things.
Right.
I'm tapping. I tap out.
Right.
I can't do it. I'll jump off the buildings. I'll dive. I'll do all those things.
I'm glad you brought that up, by the way, because that show comes back tonight, right? Fear Factor's back.
Yeah, and this look crazy too.
So besides eating brains or something like that, what's something that's a fear of yours? Like if you
That's it. I can't do it. I can't eat all those, like the brains and raw fish heads and can't do it.
It's always some form of testicle too, by the way. They always figure out a way.
The Rocky Mountain oysters, can't do it.
Right.
Can't do it.
Right. But do you have any other like fears? Like could you go jump off a building or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, as long as I got the little harness and all that stuff, I can jump off buildings. But like I started to think twice, like I wanted to go skydiving, and then I became a father, you know.
Okay. So now,
5-6 years ago, I'm like, well, I can't really engage in activities that could potentially kill me.
Right.
So I should probably not do those things because I want to be around for a long time. I want to see my grandchildren and all these things. I want to walk my daughter down the aisle and all these, you know, things you think about when you're a father, right?
Sure.
So I kind of stayed away from the X Games types of things. Kind of strayed away from those things. But yeah, like in my younger days, like, yeah, I'd do all that bungee jumping and diving and hang gliding and all that stuff. That stuff's awesome.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.